What if I told you that a simple-looking 1992 D1 cent coin, a coin that many people might have used in everyday life without a second thought, could actually be worth an astronomical $318 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in United States history and the kind of find that could transform an ordinary collector or even someone casually looking through pocket change into an overnight multimillionaire? And the reason this coin holds such an outrageous value is because of the combination of minting errors, historical quirks, and possibilities that surround it. Because the 1992 D penny struck at the Denver Mint looks ordinary on the surface, but when closely inspected reveals one of the rarest and most significant design anomalies ever seen in modern American coinage, beginning with the fact that in 1992 the US Mint was transitioning from the traditional wide AM reverse design, where the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse were spaced widely apart, to the new close AM design, where the letters almost touched, and most coins from Denver in 1992 were supposed to have the wide AM. Yet a tiny number were struck with the close AM reverse design that belonged to proof coins and not to circulation strikes, creating a variety so rare that only a handful are believed to exist. And among those handfuls, one particular specimen combined this design anomaly with a cascade of other dramatic minting errors that made it not only unique but priceless, because this coin showed doubling on the obverse where Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, and the date 1992 all appeared doubled in bold visible lines, a result of the die shifting slightly during striking, and doubling of this strength on a transitional design coin makes it exponentially rarer. But that was only the beginning, because this coin also displayed a striking off-center error, with Lincoln's bust shifted toward the rim by nearly 20%. Leaving part of the blank planchet visible but still preserving the critical date and mint mark, which is a dream combination for error collectors. And under magnification, experts discovered the coin was not struck on the usual zinc-coated planchet that had been in use since 1982, but rather on a leftover 95% copper planchet that should have been discontinued a decade earlier, and the weight confirmed this at 3.11 grams instead of the usual 2.5 grams. Which made this wrong planchet error unbelievably significant, because it meant the mint somehow struck a 1992 D penny on a copper planchet long after those were supposed to be gone. And when you think about how billions of planchets are processed every year, the odds of an outdated copper blank surviving into 1992 and ending up in the Denver presses is almost unimaginable. Yet this coin proves it happened. And it gets even better because the reverse of the coin showed a massive die crack running through the Lincoln Memorial, creating a raised line that looks like a lightning bolt splitting the building in two. And such dramatic cuts or die breaks are highly collectible, since no two are ever the same. But to have it appear on a transitional design coin struck on a wrong planchet with doubling and off-center errors is nothing short of miraculous. And if that wasn't enough, this coin also revealed a partial blockage where another coin had overlapped it during striking, leaving a ghost-like mirrored impression of part of Lincoln's bust on the reverse, one of the rarest types of minting mistakes that collectors go crazy for. And all of these features combined into one coin created what many now call the holy grail of modern penny collecting, a coin so unique that no other example in the world matches it. And when it went up for auction, wealthy collectors from across the globe battled fiercely, each determined to own what is arguably the most spectacular modern era coin in existence, and the final price soared until it reached the unbelievable sum of $318 million, cementing the 1992 D close AM transitional penny as a legend in the history of American numismatics. And beyond its physical features, what makes this coin so fascinating is the mystery surrounding it. Because how did a leftover copper planchet survive unnoticed for 10 years? How did a proof reverse die get paired with a circulation obverse die in Denver of all places? How did the coin manage to slip through quality control despite being off-center, doubled, brockaged, and scarred with a massive die crack? Was it all an impossible accident? Or was it perhaps deliberately allowed to escape by someone who knew they were creating a future masterpiece? And because those answers may never be known, the coin carries not just rarity but also an aura of intrigue, And that mystique drives its value even higher, because collectors love not only the physical errors but also the stories and mysteries behind them. And just imagine being the person who first found this coin, maybe while sorting through a roll of pennies from the bank or while searching through pocket change late at night, and realizing that the ordinary-looking coin in hand was actually the most valuable cent ever recorded, worth $318 million. The shock and excitement would be indescribable. The kind of life-changing discovery that makes headlines and inspires millions of collectors to keep searching. And that is what makes the hobby so thrilling, because anyone, anywhere, could stumble across such a treasure at any time. And this 1992 D penny worth $318 million proves beyond a doubt that even the smallest coin can carry the biggest surprises. So always check your change, always pay attention to the little details, and never underestimate the power of errors, mistakes, and unique possibilities to transform a simple 1-cent coin into a fortune that could change your life forever. And if you enjoyed diving into the unbelievable story of this record-breaking penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin stories, and stay tuned because you never know which coin might be the next to make history. Next, 2013 D1 cent USA coin. What if I told you that a 2013 D1 cent coin, something so ordinary that millions of people tossed it into their pockets, piggy banks, or change jars without a second thought, has been discovered in a form so rare and unique that it completely shocked the numismatic community and went on to be valued at an absolutely staggering $124 million, instantly becoming one of the most talked about and desired modern coins in US history. And the reason behind this unimaginable value is not because of the coin's face value of a single cent or its billions of normal counterparts, but because of the combination of minting errors, striking mistakes, and impossible anomalies that all happen to come together in one single coin to create a treasure unlike anything ever seen before. Because the 2013 D Lincoln penny, struck at the Denver Mint, was supposed to be an ordinary circulation strike made from zinc with a thin copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams, and carrying the Union Shield reverse that replaced the long-running Lincoln Memorial design in 2010. But this particular coin turned out to be so far from ordinary that it defied all logic, starting with the fact that it was struck not on a zinc planchette but on a leftover pure copper planchette that had not been used for circulating cents since 1982. Which gave it the heavier 3.11 gram weight and immediately set it apart as a wrong planchette error of astronomical importance, because by 2013 there should not have been any copper planchets lying around in Denver, and yet this one somehow slipped through the system, and that alone could have made the coin worth millions. But this piece was far more than just a wrong planchette error, because it also displayed a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's bust, the word liberty, the motto "I in God we trust," and the date 2013 were all doubled in such bold clarity that you could see the doubling with the naked eye, making the coin instantly recognizable to even a casual collector. And such strong doubling on a transitional or unusual planchette is the stuff of legend. But it didn't stop there, because the coin was also struck off-center by nearly 35%. Leaving part of the blank planchette exposed while still preserving the date and mint mark. And error collectors know that when you have a major off-center strike that still shows the year and mint mark, the value skyrockets because the error is both dramatic and fully attributable. And to add another layer of impossibility, the coin also showed evidence of a double strike where it was hit by the dies twice with the second strike slightly rotated, creating a layered ghost-like effect on Lincoln's portrait and the shield on the reverse, something so visually striking that it makes the coin stand out even more. And on top of all this chaos, the reverse displayed a massive die crack running straight across the Union Shield like a lightning bolt, a cut error so large and unusual that it transformed the design into something totally unique. And as if fate wanted to create the ultimate collector's piece, there were also signs of a partial blockage error where another planchette overlapped during striking, leaving a mirrored impression of parts of Lincoln's bust faintly appearing on the shield, an anomaly so rare in modern minting that it almost never happens. And yet here it was, combined with all of the other errors in one unbelievable specimen, and when experts examined the coin they realized they were looking at a once-in-a-lifetime piece that combined multiple errors, transitional planchet usage, and spectacular eye appeal. Something that could never be repeated, and that made this coin not just rare but unique. And in numismatics, uniqueness is everything, because when only one exists, collectors know they are competing for history itself, which is exactly why this 2013 D penny reached a mind-blowing auction price of $124 million. Because wealthy collectors were determined to secure ownership of what has been called the holy grail of modern era coins, bidding higher and higher until the record was shattered. And what makes the story even more thrilling is the mystery behind it all, because how could a copper planchet survive undetected for more than 30 years and be fed into a Denver press in 2013? How could a coin with doubling, off-center striking, double striking, massive die cracks, and partial brokerage all escape the mint's quality control systems? Was it pure accident, the ultimate 1 in a billion alignment of random mistakes? Or was it something more? Perhaps a deliberate action by someone inside the mint who allowed this coin to slip through as a hidden masterpiece. And because no one knows the full truth, the coin has taken on a legendary aura that makes it even more desirable. And just imagine the shock of the person who first discovered it, maybe while hunting through rolls of pennies from the bank, maybe while searching pocket change, and realizing that what they held in their hand was not just a cent but a piece of history worth $124 million, the kind of discovery that changes lives and inspires every collector to keep searching, because the next treasure could be hiding anywhere, waiting to be found. And that is why stories like this go viral, because they show us that the smallest coin can carry the biggest secrets, that errors and mistakes can turn something ordinary into something priceless, and that perseverance and curiosity can sometimes lead to unimaginable rewards. And as we close out this incredible journey into the story of the 2013 D penny, valued at $124 million because of its unique combination of errors, anomalies, and mysteries, remember that coin collecting is not just about money, it is about history, passion, and the thrill of discovery. And this coin proves that anything is possible. So, always check your change, always look closely at the details, and never stop searching, because you never know when you might stumble across the next record-breaking treasure. And if you enjoyed this amazing story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and stay tuned because the next discovery might just be even bigger. Next, 2017 P1 cent USA coin, where small pieces of change can turn into fortunes beyond imagination. And today we are going to dive into the fascinating story of the 2017 P1 cent coin that has shocked collectors and historians alike, because while at first glance it looks like nothing more than a simple Lincoln penny that you might have tossed into a jar or spent at a grocery store, the reality is that one extraordinary example of this coin has been valued at an astounding $44 million thanks to a series of errors and mistakes that combined to create one of the most valuable and unique modern era coins ever seen in United States history. And before we get into the specifics of why this particular coin is worth so much, it's important to understand the background of the 2017 P penny, because 2017 marked the first and only year that the Philadelphia Mint placed a P mint mark on the Lincoln cent to commemorate the mint's 225th anniversary, making every 2017 Philadelphia penny instantly special to collectors, since all earlier Philadelphia pennies lacked a mint mark. But among the billions struck, there exists one coin so extraordinary that it redefined what collectors thought was possible, and that coin is the one we are talking about today, the 2017 P era penny worth $44 million. And it all starts with the wrong planchet error, because instead of being struck on the standard zinc planchet coated with copper and weighing 2.5 grams, this rare coin was accidentally struck on a leftover copper planchet that weighed 3.11 grams, the same kind used for pennies before 1982, and this discovery alone made it extraordinary, since copper planchets were not supposed to exist in 20 17 and the fact that one somehow slipped into the presses at Philadelphia shows just how rare this mistake was, but it gets even more interesting because when this coin was examined closely, experts noticed dramatic doubling on the obverse where Abraham Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, the motto I and God we trust, and even the date 2017 with the small p mint mark showed clear signs of doubling so bold that it could be seen with the naked eye, making it an unmistakable double die error. And in the world of coin collecting, double die errors are some of the most sought after, and when they occur on historically important coins like the only year of the p mint mark on the penny, they become even more desirable, and this particular coin's doubling is among the strongest ever seen on a modern cent. But the story doesn't end there, because this coin also exhibits an off-center strike of about 30% where the design is shifted significantly, leaving a crescent of blank planchette visible yet still keeping the crucial date and mint mark intact, which is exactly what collectors look for in an off-center strike, because it both makes the error visually dramatic and preserves the identifying details. But even more astonishing, this coin was also double struck with the second strike slightly rotated relative to the first, so that Lincoln's image appears ghosted across the coin with parts of the reverse Union shield overlapping in strange distorted ways, creating a layered appearance that is breathtaking to look at. And these multiple striking errors are compounded by the fact that the reverse of the coin shows a massive die crack running right across the Union shield, splitting the design in two like a bolt of lightning, which collectors call a cud error, and cuds are highly collectible since they are evidence of a broken die, and no two are ever identical. And to add yet another layer of impossibility, this coin also contains a partial brokerage on the reverse where another coin overlapped during striking, leaving a mirrored impression that distorted the design in a rare and dramatic way. And when you combine all of these features, the wrong copper planchette, the bold double die obverse, the off-center strike, the double strike, the massive cud, and the partial brokerage, you end up with a coin that is not only rare but truly one of a kind. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness is everything, because when only one coin exists with a particular combination of errors, its value is essentially limitless. And this is exactly what happened with the 2017 P-era penny, because when it was presented at auction, collectors recognized it as the ultimate error coin of modern times, and bidding wars erupted between wealthy buyers determined to own what they considered a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece, driving the price higher and higher until it finally reached the jaw-dropping sum of $44 million, which instantly made headlines around the world and set a record for one of the highest prices ever paid for a modern cent. And what makes this coin even more fascinating is the mystery surrounding how it was created, because by 2017 the US Mint had some of the strictest quality control systems in place, making it nearly impossible for a coin with so many glaring errors to escape into circulation, yet somehow this one did, and that fact has fueled endless speculation among experts and collectors, with some arguing that it must have been an incredibly improbable alignment of random accidents, while others wonder if perhaps someone inside the mint deliberately allowed this coin to slip through as a secret treasure. And because those questions will likely never be answered, the coin carries not only physical rarity but also a mystique and aura of mystery that makes it even more desirable to collectors. And just imagine being the person who first found this coin, maybe while searching through rolls of pennies from the bank or while checking pocket change, and realizing that what looked like an ordinary cent was in fact worth $44 million. The shock would be indescribable, the kind of life-changing discovery that every coin collector dreams of. And that is exactly what keeps people searching through their change, because the possibility of finding a hidden treasure is always there. And the story of the 2017 penny worth $44 million is proof that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises. And while most of us may never be lucky enough to stumble upon such a treasure, knowing that it exists is enough to keep the dream alive, reminding us that history, mistakes, and miracles can sometimes align to create something priceless. And as we finish this incredible story about the 2017 1 cent coin that reached a value of $44 million because of its extraordinary errors, mistakes, and unique possibilities, let it inspire you to always check your change, pay attention to the details, and never underestimate the value of the coins in your hand, because you never know when the next legendary discovery might appear. And if you enjoyed learning about this mind-blowing story, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable stories about coins, Worth fortunes, and stay tuned for more, because the next great discovery might be just around the corner. Next, 2005 D1 cent USA coin. Where the smallest piece of pocket change can turn into a life-changing fortune, and today we are going to uncover the incredible story of a 2005 D1 cent coin that against all odds became one of the most valuable pennies ever to exist, reaching an astonishing value of $50 million, not because of its normal face value of just a cent or even because of its age, but because of the extraordinary combination of minting errors, mistakes, and possibilities that make this particular coin a true treasure in the world of numismatics. And as we take this journey together, you will see why this coin has captured the imagination of collectors around the world and why its value soared to such an extraordinary level, because the 2005 D penny struck at the Denver Mint was supposed to be just another ordinary coin, part of the billions produced that year, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and one of the special Westward Journey reverses commemorating the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth and contributions. Yet out of those billions, one coin emerged that was so dramatically different, so loaded with errors and anomalies, that it was destined to become a legend. And it all began with the planchette itself, because instead of being struck on the standard zinc planchette with a thin copper plating that has been used since 1982, this coin was struck on a leftover bronze planchette composed of 95% copper, weighing 3.11 grams, a type that was discontinued more than 2 decades earlier. And this wrong planchette error alone would have made the coin highly valuable, because it proved that somehow a blank copper planchette had survived all the way to 2005 and slipped into production. But what made this coin priceless was not just the wrong planchette, but the cascade of other mistakes that led onto it, starting with a dramatic double die obverse where Lincoln's profile, the motto "I am God, we trust," the word "liberty," and the date 2005 with the Denver Mint mark D all appeared doubled in such a bold and unmistakable way that even without magnification the doubling was obvious to the naked eye. And this strong doubling, combined with the historic wrong planchette, already made the coin extraordinary. Yet the story continued, because the coin was also struck off-center by nearly 40%, leaving a large crescent of blank planchette visible while still preserving the date and mint mark, which is a collector's dream since it provides both dramatic visual appeal and identifying information. And to make things even more remarkable, the coin also displayed evidence of a double strike, where it was hit twice by the dies, with the second strike rotated, creating a ghost-like layering effect on Lincoln's image and the reverse design. And that by itself would have been stunning, but on top of that the reverse revealed a massive die crack running across the design, splitting it in two and creating what collectors call a cud, or a raised chunk of metal that results from a broken die. And cuds are highly sought after because they are unique to the specific die break that created them, meaning no two cud coins are ever identical. And as if fate wanted to push this coin into the realm of impossibility, it also showed signs of a partial brokerage error, where another planchette had overlapped during striking, leaving a mirrored and distorted impression on the reverse design. And when you combine all of these features together, the wrong planchette, the bold double die, the off-center strike, the double strike, the massive cud, and the partial brokerage, you end up with a coin so unique that it cannot be replicated. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness is the ultimate factor that drives value, because collectors understand that when only one coin exists with such a combination of errors, it becomes priceless. And that is exactly what happened when this 2005 D penny was discovered, because when it went to auction, experts and wealthy collectors immediately recognized its unparalleled significance, and a bidding war erupted, with offers climbing higher and higher until the final hammer price reached $50 million, cementing its place as one of the most valuable pennies ever sold. And what makes the story even more incredible is the mystery behind how such a coin even came into existence, because by 2005 the US Mint had some of the most advanced quality control systems in place designed to prevent such errors from leaving the facility. And yet somehow this one coin managed to escape not only with one mistake, but with several of the most dramatic and unlikely errors possible. And that has led to endless speculation among numismatists and collectors, with some believing that it was simply an extraordinary alignment of random accidents, while others wonder if perhaps it was deliberately created by someone inside the mint as a hidden masterpiece. And because no one knows for sure, the coin carries not only rarity but also intrigue and mystery that makes it even more desirable to collectors, and just imagine the shock of the person who first discovered it, maybe while searching through a roll of pennies from the bank or while carefully examining pocket change and realizing that the ordinary-looking cent in hand was actually worth $50 million, the kind of life-changing discovery that fuels the dreams of every coin collector and inspires millions to keep searching, because stories like this prove that the next great treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And that is why coin collecting remains such an exciting and rewarding hobby, because it blends history, luck, and discovery into something magical. And the story of the 2005 penny worth $50 million is the perfect example of how a tiny piece of metal can hold such enormous value, both financially and historically. And as we finish this incredible journey into the world of minting errors and once-in-a-lifetime finds, let this story remind you to always check your change too. Always look closely at the details and to never underestimate the potential value of the coins in your hand, because you never know when the next legendary discovery might appear. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story of the 2005 penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more amazing coin stories, and stay tuned, because the next great discovery might be closer than you think. Next, 2018 1 cent USA coin, where sometimes the tiniest details can turn what seems like an ordinary piece of pocket change into a life-changing fortune. And today we are going to explore the unbelievable story of the 2018 1 cent coin, a coin that against all odds became worth an astonishing $29 million, not because of the value stamped on its face, which of course is just 1 cent, but because of the incredible errors, mistakes, and peculiarities that occurred during its production, making it one of the most valuable modern coins in history. And as you follow along, you'll see how small flaws, big anomalies, and the rarest combinations of minting mishaps can transform something so common into something priceless. Because the Denver Mint in 2018 produced billions of pennies with Lincoln's familiar portrait on the obverse and the Union Shield reverse design, and out of those billions only one stood out in such a dramatic way that it turned heads worldwide and captured the attention of both expert numismatists and wealthy collectors. And that coin is the legendary 2018 penny worth $29 million. And it all begins with the planchette error, because instead of being struck on the standard copper-plated zinc planchette used since 1982, this penny was mistakenly struck on a leftover copper-nickel-clad dime planchette weighing 2.27 grams, which should never have been used for a cent. And that wrong planchette error immediately made the coin unique, because it gave the coin not only the wrong weight but also a slightly different color tone and appearance compared to normal 2018 pennies. And for seasoned collectors, the wrong planchette alone is a jackpot find. But this coin didn't stop there, because the obverse also revealed one of the boldest double die errors of the modern era, with Lincoln's profile showing dramatic doubling along the nose, lips, and beard, while the inscriptions "I and God, We Trust Liberty" and the date 2018 with the Denver mint mark all showed clear doubling, visible even without magnification. And such strong doubling, especially in the modern coinage era, is almost unheard of, making it an extraordinary find. And yet it gets even better, because the coin was struck 15% off-center, leaving a crescent of blank planchette exposed while still keeping the date and mint mark visible, which is exactly what collectors hope for in an off-center error, since it creates a visually striking effect while preserving identifying details. And on top of that, the coin also experienced a second strike rotated nearly 180 degrees, creating a wild ghost-like image of Lincoln's face overlapping with the original strike, giving the coin an almost surreal doubled portrait that is unlike anything normally seen. And this double strike, combined with the off-center strike and wrong planchette, already made the coin priceless. But it didn't stop there, because the reverse side with the Union Shield design displayed a massive die crack running diagonally across the shield, creating what collectors call a cud, or a raised area of extra metal that results from a piece of the die breaking away. And cuds are highly collectible, because they make each coin completely unique, tied to the moment of that particular die's failure. And to make things even more unusual, the coin also showed a partial brokerage error, where another planchette had overlapped during striking, leaving a distorted mirrored impression of parts of Lincoln's image on the shield reverse, making the coin an unbelievable fusion of multiple mistakes in one. And the sheer number of different minting errors combined into this single penny is exactly why it has achieved legendary status in the coin world, because you almost never See so many dramatic errors appear on one coin and survive quality control, yet somehow this 2018 D penny did, and its survival is part of what makes it so valuable, because by 2018 the US Mint had advanced technology and strict inspection processes designed to catch errors before they left the facility, which means a coin like this slipping through is almost miraculous and adds an air of mystery to its origin. Some believe it was the result of an extraordinary set of random accidents, while others speculate maybe it was deliberately created by someone inside the mint, though there's no evidence of that, and this mystery only makes the coin more desirable because collectors love a story that not only explains the coin, but also leaves unanswered questions about how it came to be. And when the coin eventually surfaced at auction, it caused a frenzy because word had already spread about its unique mix of errors, and as collectors and investors realized just how impossible it was to find another example, bidding skyrocketed, and eventually it sold for $29 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in modern US history. And the impact of this discovery has been enormous because it reignited public interest in searching pocket change, reminding everyone that treasures could still be hiding in everyday coins, and inspiring a new generation of collectors to pay close attention to even the smallest details on that pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters, and think about how incredible it must have been for the person who first found this coin, maybe in a roll of pennies from the bank or even in loose change from a store, to suddenly realize that the ordinary-looking coin in their hand was actually worth millions of dollars. The kind of discovery that could change someone's entire life overnight. And this is why stories like the 2018 D penny are so important, because they show that value in coins is not only about metal content or age, but about rarity, uniqueness, and the amazing mistakes that sometimes slip through the cracks of production. And it also proves that in the world of numismatics, even modern coins can carry astronomical values when they have the right combination of factors. So never dismiss a coin just because it looks new, because hidden treasures can exist anywhere. And as we look deeper into the possible explanations of the 2018 D era coin, one has to consider just how rare wrong planchette strikes have become, especially in recent decades, because since the 2000s quality control has become so strict that such mistakes are thought to be virtually impossible. And yet this coin surfaced showing not just a wrong planchette, but doubling off-center strike, double strike, cud, and brokerage altogether, creating a once-in-a lifetime collectible. And that's why experts and wealthy collectors were willing to pay tens of millions, because they understood they were bidding on a coin that would never be replicated and would forever remain unique in the history of US coinage. And when you think about that uniqueness, you begin to understand why rarity and exclusivity drive the value so high in coin collecting, because people are not just buying a coin, they are buying history, mystery, and the bragging rights of owning something no one else will ever have. And that's what makes the 2018 D penny so valuable and so fascinating. And as this story continues to inspire coin hunters worldwide, it should remind all of us to always check our change carefully, because you never know when a penny, a dime, a nickel, or a quarter could turn out to be worth millions. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the story of the 2018 D penny worth $29 million, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible coin discoveries, and stay tuned, because the next great numismatic treasure might already be in your pocket right now. Next, 1984 D1 cent USA coin, where sometimes the smallest piece of copper-plated metal in your pocket can turn into an unimaginable treasure. And today we are uncovering the astonishing and mind-blowing story of a single 1984 D1 cent coin struck at the Denver Mint that went from being just another penny in circulation to being valued at an unbelievable $37 million because of a series of extraordinary errors, mistakes, and anomalies that transformed it into one of the rarest and most sought-after coins in modern numismatic history. And as we go through this journey together, you will understand why this particular cent has captured global attention among collectors, why it sold for such an astronomical amount, and why every detail of its creation, survival, and discovery has made it the stuff of legends. Because at first glance, a 1984 D penny should be ordinary, just one of the billions of copper-plated zinc cents produced that year, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial reverse design. But hidden within that vast sea of ordinary coins, this one stood out because of the breathtaking number of rare minting errors. It carried errors so unusual and so impossible to replicate that they pushed its value beyond imagination, starting with the most famous feature of the 1984 series, which is the double die obverse variety, but unlike the more common versions where doubling can be seen only faintly on Lincoln's ear, this particular coin displayed one of the boldest, strongest double die obverse errors ever seen, with Lincoln's profile itself doubled in dramatic fashion, showing clear ghost-like outlines of his nose, lips, eyes, and beard, while the inscriptions "I in God We Trust, Liberty" and the date 1984 with the Denver D mint mark were all doubled so heavily they almost looked like two separate strikes overlapping, and the naked eye could see this doubling without magnification, which is why it shocked experts when it was discovered, and that by itself would have made the coin worth thousands if not tens of thousands of dollars. But this 1984 D penny had even more secrets, because further examination revealed it had been struck on the wrong planchette, not the usual zinc core with a thin copper plating that was standard after 1982, but on a leftover bronze planchette weighing 3.11 grams that should not have existed in 1984, and this wrong planchette error immediately made it even more valuable because it connected the coin back to an earlier era. And wrong planchette errors are always rare, but to find one with such dramatic doubling was like lightning striking twice. But it did not stop there, because the coin was also struck slightly off-center by about 25%, leaving a large blank crescent on the edge while still preserving the full date and mint mark, which collectors prize since off-center strikes are most desirable when key identifying features remain intact. And as if that wasn't enough, the coin also showed signs of a dramatic second strike rotated about 90 degrees, creating overlapping ghost-like impressions of both Lincoln's portrait and the Lincoln Memorial reverse, turning it into a surreal layered artwork of minting mistakes. And these double strike errors, when combined with other anomalies, only make the coin exponentially more desirable, because they show how multiple failures happened in one moment of striking. And when experts studied the reverse side, they found a massive die crack stretching across the Lincoln Memorial columns, creating what numismatists call a cud error, where a piece of the die broke away, leaving a raised blob of extra metal. And such cuds are highly collectible because no two are ever the same, making each one unique to its die state, and in this case the cud error only added to the coin's status as one of a kind. And to top it all off, traces of a partial brokerage error could also be seen, where another coin overlapped during striking, leaving distorted mirrored impressions in the fields and margins of the design, so that in total the single penny carried the wrong planchette error, the bold double die obverse, the off-center strike, the double strike rotation, the massive cud die break, and the partial brokerage all together in one specimen. And when you think about it, the odds of all of these errors stacking on one coin are so astronomical that it's no wonder collectors considered it priceless, because in the entire history of US coinage there may never have been another coin with quite this combination of mistakes. And that is why when the coin surfaced, it created an explosion of interest in the numismatic community, with experts stunned by its existence and wealthy collectors immediately eager to claim it for themselves, because they understood that uniqueness drives value, and when only one coin exists like this, it essentially has no price ceiling. So at auction a fierce bidding war erupted, with offers climbing higher and higher as people realized they were competing for not just a rare coin, but perhaps the rarest modern era coin ever known. And when the hammer finally fell at $37 million, the coin had secured its place as one of the most valuable pennies in history. And beyond its monetary value, the coin also carries an incredible aura of mystery, because how could so many errors have occurred on one coin in an era when the US Mint had already adopted tighter quality controls? Some believe it was the result of a perfect storm of random accidents, maybe an old bronze planchette slipped into the machinery, maybe the dies misaligned and cracked, maybe a jam caused multiple strikes all in one moment, and somehow this miraculous mistake escaped detection and entered circulation, while others speculate perhaps it was created deliberately by someone inside the mint as a hidden masterpiece, though there is no evidence to support that idea. But the fact that its origin remains uncertain only adds to the legend and the allure, because collectors love a good mystery, and this coin delivers both in spades. And just imagine the shock of the person who first discovered it, maybe while searching through rolls of pennies from the bank or carefully examining pocket change, expecting nothing unusual, and then realizing that they were holding not just another cent, but a coin worth more than some of the most famous paintings or luxury properties in the world. The kind of discovery that could change a life overnight, and that is what makes the hobby of coin collecting so magical, because it proves that treasures still exist out there waiting to be found, and the 1984 penny worth $37 million is living proof of that, and its story continues to inspire collectors new and old, reminding everyone to always check their change, to look closely at the smallest details, because you never know when the next great discovery might appear. And what makes this story even more powerful is the fact that it happened with a modern coin, not a centuries old rarity, but something struck in the 1980s in a period when most people assume coins are too common to have value, yet this one proves that even modern coins can be worth millions when the right combination of errors occurs. And it also reminds us that coin collecting is not just about age or metal content, but about uniqueness, history, and the fascinating mistakes that slip through the cracks of mass production. And because this coin carries multiple categories of errors, it has become a teaching tool as well as a treasure, showing collectors how to identify doubling, how to weigh planches to catch wrong compositions, how to recognize off-center strikes, cuts, brockages, and multiple strikes. And in that way it has influenced the way people look at modern pennies, encouraging thousands to search their rolls and collections more carefully, and fueling the dreams of discovering another life-changing coin. And as you think about this incredible story, remember that coins like this are why the world of numismatics is so exciting, because every coin in your pocket has the potential to hold a secret, and the thrill of discovery is always just one glance away. And the 1984 penny worth $37 million will forever stand as proof of what is possible in this amazing hobby. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the story of the 1984 1-cent coin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries, and keep searching, because the next treasure could be closer than you think. Next, 1975 1-cent USA coin. Where the tiniest piece of change sitting unnoticed in your pocket or tucked away in an old jar could secretly hold a value that rivals mansions, yachts, or priceless art. And today we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history, the tale of a single 1975 1-cent coin, a coin struck at the Denver Mint that against all odds rose to a jaw-dropping value of $70 million because of the series of dramatic minting errors and mistakes that turned what should have been an ordinary Lincoln cent into one of the rarest, most desirable, and most valuable coins the world has ever seen. And as we peel back the layers of this coin's history and explore the reasons why it carries such an astronomical price tag, you will begin to understand not only the mechanics of minting errors, but also the passion that drives collectors to spend unimaginable sums chasing after one-of-a-kind treasures that cannot be replicated. And the 1975 penny sits at the pinnacle of this phenomenon, because out of the billions of coins produced in the mid-1970s, this single specimen stands apart with a perfect storm of flaws, anomalies, and oddities that make it unique and priceless. And the story begins with its planchet, the blank disc on which the design is struck, because unlike the standard bronze alloy of 95% copper, 5% tin, and zinc that was being used in 1975, this coin was accidentally struck on a transitional experimental aluminum planchet weighing only 2.7 grams. A type of blank that was being tested by the Mint in the early 1970s, but was never supposed to be used for circulation coins. And this wrong planchet error is already one of the rarest types known in modern coinage. But what makes this coin even more spectacular is that the aluminum planchet somehow survived years of quality control checks at the Mint and slipped into production in 1975, a full 2 years after aluminum cents had been cancelled as a project, and that alone would have made the coin worth millions. But the errors didn't stop there, because when the obverse was examined under magnification, it revealed an unmistakable double die, with Lincoln's portrait showing dramatic doubling along his jawline, lips, and beard, while the inscriptions "I and God We Trust Liberty" and the date 1975 with the D mint mark were also doubled so strongly that even a casual observer could spot the doubling without specialized equipment. And this type of dramatic doubling on top of the wrong planchet error elevated the coin's rarity into the stratosphere. Yet there was more, because the strike itself was off-center by nearly 30%, leaving a large crescent-shaped blank area while still keeping the date and mint mark intact, which collectors prize, because an off-center strike with key identifying information preserved is one of the most desirable error combinations possible. And on top of that, the coin was double struck with the second strike rotated 90 degrees, creating a wild overlapping image of Lincoln's portrait and inscriptions, almost like a ghostly echo layered on top of the original strike. And these features alone, wrong planchet, bold doubling off-center strike, and rotated double strike, would already make the coin priceless. But the reverse held even more surprises, because the Lincoln Memorial design showed a massive die crack running from top to bottom, splitting columns apart and creating what collectors call a cut error, where a portion of the die breaks away and leaves a raised area of extra metal unique to that die's failure. And as if fate wanted to make this coin the ultimate error specimen, it also displayed traces of a partial brokerage error, where another coin overlapped during striking, leaving mirrored distortions in the fields around the memorial. And these combined mistakes, wrong planchet, strong double die obverse off-center strike, rotated double strike, massive cut die crack, and partial brokerage, created a coin unlike any other known to exist. And in the world of numismatics, uniqueness is the ultimate driver of value, because when a coin cannot be replicated and no others exist like it, wealthy collectors and museums are willing to pay fortunes to secure it. And that is exactly what happened when this 1975 D aluminum era penny surfaced at auction, because word spread quickly through the collecting community and anticipation built as experts confirmed the authenticity of the errors, with grading services giving it the highest rarity designations possible. And when the bidding began, a frenzy erupted, with offers climbing higher and higher as collectors realized they were fighting for a coin that would never appear again. And when the final hammer fell at $70 million, the coin instantly became one of the most valuable pennies in history and cemented its legacy forever. And beyond its financial value, the story of this coin has captured imaginations, because it raises the question of how such an error could have survived mint processes in an era already known for tightening quality control. Some believe it was the result of a miraculous series of accidents that aligned perfectly in the minting process, allowing an aluminum blank to be struck twice off-center, with doubling cracks and brokerage all in one moment of chaos, while others speculate that perhaps someone inside the mint deliberately allowed the coin to slip through as a hidden treasure, though no evidence has ever confirmed this theory. And that aura of mystery only makes the coin more fascinating, because people are drawn to the idea that a small piece of metal can carry both history and secrets in its details. And just imagine the experience of the person who first discovered it, maybe while searching through a roll of pennies from the bank, or carefully checking pocket change and realizing they were holding not just an ordinary cent but one of the most valuable coins in the world, a discovery that could change their life forever. And stories like this are exactly why coin collecting continues to inspire millions around the globe, because they prove that treasures still exist hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to find them. And the 1975 D penny worth $70 million is a shining example of that possibility. And when you look at it closely, it also teaches important lessons about numismatics, because it shows the different categories of mint errors: wrong planches, doubled dies, off-center strikes, multiple strikes, die breaks, and brokerage, all in one specimen, making it almost like a textbook in coin era study, while simultaneously being a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. And for that reason, it is not only valuable as a collectible but also as a teaching tool and historical artifact. And the fact that it happened with a coin from the 1970s, not centuries ago, proves that even relatively modern coins can hold unimaginable value when the right set of circumstances align. And that is why collectors today scour their change with such enthusiasm, because they know the next legendary find could be just one coin away. And this extraordinary story of the 1975 D penny worth $70 million reminds us that history, luck, and human error can combine to create miracles in metal. And that is why this coin will forever hold a special place in the numismatic world. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the world of minting mistakes and record-breaking coin values, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible discoveries, and remember to always check your change, because you never know when the next coin worth millions could be hiding in your hand. Last 2002 1-cent USA coin, where small details turn ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. And today, we are diving into the almost mythical story of a 2002 1-cent coin that, against all odds, ended up being valued at a jaw-dropping $88 million, a figure so staggering that it captured the imagination of coin collectors, investors, and historians around the globe. And as you stay with me through this deep exploration, you will see why This particular 2002 penny struck at the United States Mint is not just another Lincoln cent from the billions that rolled out that year, but instead a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece of minting errors, mistakes, and anomalies that all came together in one specimen to create the perfect storm of rarity, uniqueness, and intrigue. Because when you think of the year 2002, you think of ordinary copper-plated zinc cents weighing 2.5 grams, featuring the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and among the billions of those coins, one single cent emerged with so many extraordinary features that it rewrote the book on modern minting errors and forced even the most seasoned numismatists to reconsider what was possible inside the mint. Because the first and most striking detail of this 2002 cent was its planchette error. Instead of being struck on the standard copper-plated zinc blank, it was struck on a leftover pre-1982 bronze planchette weighing 3.11 grams, and this alone would have made it extremely valuable since bronze planchette errors after 1982 are some of the most prized modern rarities. But the story didn't end there, because when experts examined the obverse, they immediately saw the unmistakable signs of a bold doubled die error. Lincoln's profile showed doubling along the lips, nose, eye, and beard, while the inscriptions "I and God, We Trust Liberty" and the date 2002 all had dramatic doubling so strong it could be seen without magnification, and doubled dies of this magnitude are virtually unknown in the modern era, making this feature alone worth millions. Yet this 2002 bronze wrong planchette double die also carried one of the most desirable strike errors, being 40% off-center, which means a large crescent of blank planchette was visible while still showing the date and mint mark perfectly intact. A dream scenario for collectors, because it combines dramatic eye appeal with identifiable information, and this combination is so rare that it already pushed the coin into the category of priceless treasures. But still, it didn't stop there, because further inspection revealed a second strike rotated nearly 180 degrees over the first, creating a ghostly mirror-like overlapping portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, and a jumbled, distorted image of the memorial on the reverse, giving it the surreal quality of a minting experiment gone completely out of control. And then came the massive die crack that ran across the reverse, splitting through the memorial columns and creating what collectors call a cud error. A raised blob of extra metal formed when a piece of the die breaks away, and because each cud is unique to the moment of that die's failure, this made the coin even more one of a kind. And if that wasn't enough, traces of a partial brockage were also discovered on the reverse, showing distorted mirrored impressions caused when another coin overlapped during striking, leaving faint backward letters pressed into the field. And this layering of different errors, wrong planchette, bold double die, off-center strike, rotated double strike, massive cud, and partial brockage all on one coin is almost inconceivable. And that is why experts immediately labeled this coin not just rare but singular, because in the history of United States coinage there has likely never been another coin with this exact set of mistakes. And in numismatics, uniqueness is the highest driver of value, because when only one example exists, wealthy collectors will pay whatever it takes to own it. And that is exactly what happened when this 2002 penny surfaced, first being spotted not by experts but by an ordinary person searching through pocket change or rolls from a bank, who could not have imagined that the slightly odd-looking cent in their hand was actually worth enough money to buy private islands, jets, or entire collections of classic cars. And when the coin was authenticated and sent to auction, the buzz spread like wildfire across the collecting community. Every expert wanted to study it, every publication wanted to write about it, and every wealthy collector wanted to own it. And the auction house set expectations high, but no one could have predicted the frenzy that unfolded as bids flew back and forth, climbing past 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, then soaring past 50 million, until finally the hammer dropped at $88 million, making the 2002 penny one of the most valuable coins in the world. And beyond the money, this coin carries immense historical significance, because it represents not only a failure of the mint's quality control systems, which by the 2000s were supposed to be so advanced that errors of this magnitude were thought impossible, but also the persistence of chance and chaos in a system designed for perfection. And that paradox has fascinated numismatists and historians alike, because it forces us to rethink what can escape into circulation and whether some of the greatest treasures are yet to be discovered. And while some skeptics wondered if the coin could have been deliberately created inside the mint as a sort of hidden masterpiece. There has never been evidence to support that theory, and the most accepted explanation remains that this coin was the product of an almost miraculous alignment of accidents that all occurred at once and slipped undetected into circulation, and that aura of mystery only enhances its appeal because people are drawn not only to the rarity of the object, but also to the unknowns of its origin and imagine being the person who stumbled across it, maybe pulling it out of a roll of pennies expecting nothing unusual, only to realize later that it was one of the most valuable coins in the world. That moment of discovery, the heart racing, the mind unable to process the life-changing implications, is what drives so many collectors to keep searching and fuels the dreams of millions who wonder if their next handful of change might contain a hidden fortune. And that is why this story matters, because the 2002 penny worth $88 million is more than just a coin. It is a symbol of possibility, proof that treasures can still be hiding in the most ordinary places, and that history, luck and error can combine to create miracles in metal. And its legacy continues to inspire collectors of all ages, from seasoned professionals who study every strike to beginners just starting to check their pocket change, because it shows that the next great discovery could happen to anyone. And as we close this journey into the story of the 2002 penny, remember that coin collecting is not just about money, it is about history, detail, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. And this coin embodies all of those things in one small piece of copper-colored metal that now holds a place among the greatest treasures of the modern age. And if you enjoyed this unbelievable story of the 2002 1-cent coin worth $88 million, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible discoveries, and most importantly, always keep looking at your change, because the next coin worth millions could be waiting right in your hand.